Hey everybody, it's Michael here at Drama Ghouls. Wanted to do a video talking about how to reload cartridges with bottled ink, just because colors are limited in cartridges. Also because some pens, the converters aren't the best, and so people actually just refill their cartridges. And I've had a lot of people ask how to do that. Another thing I want to talk about in this video is ink shelf life, because I've been seeing lots of questions about that on social media recently. So I just wanted to talk about that in a little bit as well. So stay tuned. So one example of a pen that might limit your options for colors would be like the Shown Designs. The Shown Designs, for the most part, only take cartridges, while Diamine and Monteverde, they actually offer quite a few colors in their cartridges. One example, like you wouldn't be able to load up your Shown Design with our new KWZ exclusive Discovery Green. And so say you were really adamant about wanting to do that, this would be your option. So what you would do is you would just take your pen. Right now I don't have any kind of cartridge or anything in here, but what you would do is you've got a full cartridge here. What you want to do is puncture that cartridge into the pen. That way you have the opening to go and reload the cartridge. Now that you have it punctured, you just pull that off, and now that it's open, you can get all the old ink out. So basically the best way to do that is to pull water into a syringe, and then you'll take that blunt tip syringe and put it into the cartridge, and then you just want to press that water into there. You might want to do this over a sink. It can get a little messy just depending on how the water flows out. I'm not at a sink right now, so I just have a paper towel underneath me, but basically you just push all the old ink out of there with the water. As you can see, still got a little bit of old colored ink in there, so we're going to do this again just to try to get it all out. And now we're pretty much to where it's just water in the cartridge there. The best way to get the water out is to stick the syringe in there and actually just suck the water out of it. You can get it pretty dry that way, and then outside of that, the best way is just to shake your cartridge dry. And if you're really adamant or particular, you can always just let your cartridge sit out for a day, let it kind of evaporate or anything like that. But now you're ready to reload the cartridge with the new ink. What you would do is empty your syringe, get all that water out, and then you take that syringe and load it with the ink that you want to load into it. So you just suck it in there, and then you want to do this really slowly. You just stick this syringe tip back in there, and then slowly just release the ink into the cartridge until you get a nice full fill cartridge. And don't want to overdo it. There we go. Now we got it all nice and filled. And then you just stick your cartridge into your pen, and now you've got your pen filled with our Discovery Green. So that's a really nice way to get whatever ink color you want into cartridges for pens that either have crappy converters or no converter options at all. So that would be that. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was a question I've seen a lot come up on social media recently, just following like Facebook pages and forums and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of people asking about the shelf life of ink, so I wanted to talk about that just a little bit. Shelf life of ink is going to vary just depending on conditions that you're in, the bottle of ink, how well it's sealed, if it's air conditioned, if it's dark, if it's light. So it's going to be a variety of factors, and there's no scientific like, oh, this ink is going to expire 4 years from now on this date. You're going to see varying ranges just depending on the conditions. So what I always recommend is just to go off your gut. If you open up your bottle, if it has a weird smell that it never had before, that's probably a sign that the ink is going bad. I think one of the number one tell signs is going to be if you see stuff floating around in your ink, that's stuff floating is probably not something you want in your pen. And so I would just recommend tossing your bottle if you get to that point where it has a weird smell, or if you see something floating. That would be the point where I would just get rid of my bottle. You also just want to start fresh at that point. Try to clean out any of that ink that you might have had in your pens just to get it all out, and load it up with some new fresh ink.